Hey, what's going on, guys? For today, just a quick video on the 30 Minutes Mission Smart Transformable Machine version. This is basically sort of like the 30 Minutes Missions version of the Architect frame, it seems like, from Kotobukiya's Frame Arms line, where it's basically just kind of the base body that can be used for like further customization on top of this, or it can transform into just like basically just like a piece of equipment. And here in the background, you can see some units in action, some of them transformed, as I just mentioned. And here on the side of the box, you can see this is number 18 in the EV line, or the extended armament vehicle lineup. And on the bottom of the box, we can see a little bit more about the kit, some of the articulation points, how the hand can switch out with this Gatling weapon there kind of built into the forearm. That's kind of cool. Then can switch modes to the mobile turret mode or the fixed turret mode, basically just having like the legs either deployed kind of or not there. And then right here you can see an example of some further kit bashing using some different weapons and customized parts there on the unit. On the other side over here, just basic front and back images, a little note there about the ease of assembly process, along with our QR code there for more on the 30 Minutes Missions website, and probably just a link to the website there. And let's go ahead and check out our contents inside. And now I'm expecting it's basically going to be maybe one or two colors, and it looks like it's going to be two colors plus some clear green parts in there as well, which is pretty nice. Our instruction manual is going to have the background image from the box art here in full color, and you do have some text there in Japanese and in English if you want to check that out. We've got some more here, once again, about like that custom unit. It shows like which parts and which sets are used to make that, which you can see there in the photo. And on the other side is just showing once again like the different modes and how we're going to end up building this. So the construction is going to be all in color here, even though the kit's not particularly very colorful. It's color pages on the outside. Then once we get into the inside, which is the completion and then the transformation here, that's there in black and white, along with our parts list right there. For the runners, we do have some polycap ball joints here in gray, and that clear green runner here is going to be SMQ for a few parts there. Otherwise, here in a medium gray, we've got SMP1 and SMP2 for the majority of our parts there. And then this B runner here is actually the familiar 30 Minutes Missions frame runner. So it is going to be using the same frame, which does mean that all the joints will be compatible with pretty much most, if not all, of your other 30 Minutes Mission stuff. Of course, that is kind of the whole name of the game, for everything to be compatible. So let me go ahead and get this all built up. We'll check it out on its own, and then we'll try out a little bit of kit bashing with it as well, see what kind of things you can do with this. All right, and so here is the kit all built up, and as you can see, it's not a very large kit. Just to give you guys a size comparison here, this is actually comparing it to the regular Forestieri kit in the line, and as you can see, even though this is not like a full kit, but just a basically vehicle model kit or option parts set, it's actually slightly larger, it seems, than the Forestieri, but it is going to be pretty much kind of on par when it comes to regular size. Like something like this compared to the Verdanova is going to have a little bit longer proportions in the legs, and just obviously a little bit different shape and proportions there in the torso as well. But as you can see, pretty much any of these parts would be pretty compatible with swapping them out for the normal arms and legs, head, torso size for any of the other kits if you wanted to do some mixing and matching. Now, one thing you may notice, taking a look at this kit, that some of the nubs and some of the sanding might be a little rough on this. Actually, I just passed this kit to my son to let him build it for me, and he's still kind of learning the ways, so some of the nub removal might be a little bit rougher than usual, you might notice on here. But you'll notice we have those nice clear parts in here for the head and in the chest right there and there. The articulation on this is going to be pretty standard, with it being pretty much, like I said, just a kind of standard kit, despite it being a vehicle model kit. We're going to have articulation there in the stomach section, single joint in the elbow, a double joint in the knee. That's going to give us a nice full bend there. That's kind of also part of the transformation. This basically being sort of like just a frame set for customization. As you can see, like parts here on the knees just plugged on there like that. We have just some like very basic feet here at the bottom that are able to move side to side there. Front and back a little bit, not a whole lot. You have some simple detail kind of all around. Yeah, not like the most detailed of kits. It's just keeping it very simple again, as it's just really just kind of meant to be just sort of a frame or a vehicle that can just be used in different ways. Otherwise, or you can just use this as a base for customization into like a larger kit. But you can see we've got a ball joint there at the neck, and then also a hinge here for the head, so you can turn the head like kind of all the way to the side there like that. Also this antenna Here on the head, you can also change the angle of that as needed. Sort of reminds me a lot of some of like the Macross kits actually. And then you can see we've got a number of hard points around on the kit, as I said, just for customizing this even further. And then of course we have the gimmick as far as weaponry goes of being able to switch around the hand there for the Gatling guns. That's just there in the arms, so it's just a matter of rotating that part around for the Gatling gun arms, which is pretty cool. Other than that, we don't really have any other accessories. We've got a couple of leftover parts here on the B runner that you might find useful for different sets, again, for customizing, for mixing and matching, but ultimately not really all that much included other than just this base kit itself, which as it just being like just a skeleton sort of for further customization, or if you wanted to switch it up into one of the different modes like the mobile turret mode or the fixed turret mode, which we'll take a look at here in just a second. I'll show you guys how those are going to look. But it's a small, simple, and very affordable little kit here, perfect for customization. I gotta say, it is really nice. So taking a look at it here in a few different poses without any weapons to hold in the hands included with the kit, you're not really going to have much that you can do with it necessarily. You know, you can switch those hands around to the little Gatling guns there. And then of course we can take a look at it here transformed into the mobile turret mode and the fixed turret mode. So there's some different things that you can do with it, but not necessarily a whole lot. But again, it's just meant to be a small and simple kit, and as everything goes in this line, everything's just kind of a la carte. So if you wanted to just give some more weaponry and stuff to this, there's plenty of different weapon options available, sold separately, of course. Otherwise, you can take weapons from different kits and mix and match and just kind of kit bashing everything. Everything's meant to be compatible. So for a small, simple kit here, this is really nice. I like it a lot, actually. I'm looking forward to maybe playing around with this at some point and trying out some different weapons and different like armor parts on here just to kind of change it up a bit. But I do think that this would also just look really nice just on its own. I mean, whether you're gonna paint it or not, I think it would look pretty cool if you were to paint it up in like some funky bright colors, because with it being just all kind of gray and black, it's an interesting enough design on its own, but it's not really going to stand out that much. I think with a cool like bright color scheme, it would look pretty awesome as just like a small little robot kit in some fun colors. I think it would just be perfectly fine on its own. But whether you want to use this on its own or paint it up, whatever you might want to do with it, it's a great little kit, definitely worth checking out. I could recommend it for you guys for sure. And if you want to check out this kit or anything else from the line, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. Got lots of stuff there on the website for you guys. It's good to check back in on the 30 minutes missions line. I feel like it's been a little bit, but definitely looking forward to checking out some more here in the near future. So make sure that you're subscribed to stay tuned for that in the near future. But for now, thanks so much for all of your guys' support and leaving a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Make sure to let me know what you guys think about this kit down in the comment section below. But until next time, hope y'all are having a great day and see you guys later. Bye bye.